My name's Nicholas Bound. I'm just a local boy from American Fork, Utah. I've had a lot of concussions. I'm kind of the poster child for concussions, but I had a series of concussions and then kind of a major one back in kind of 2015. So I actually kind of came when CognitiveFX was relatively new in 2016 and was a patient and kind of gave my life back. And then I ended up going for quite a streak and then had one just earlier this year in 2024. Like I said, kind of like a spoiler, but I got my life back in 2016. I went from like not being able to necessarily sing along with my favorite song, having a blinding headache every day, needing to take naps every day just to function, and not short naps, like 2-hour naps to function. I just kind of got my life back. And so for the 8 years between 2016 and now 2024, I was able to fully function. I served a mission for my church for 2 years and I have been going to college, and it was just amazing. And so the results from my first experience when CognitiveFX was new and still learning a ton about what was going on made it so that it was an easy decision once I realized that I wasn't recovering from my most recent injury to come back. Primarily the changes for me weren't necessarily emotionally or personality-wise. I mean, maybe my mom could tell more about that, but just for me, it was mainly like physical symptoms and like physical struggles. So I've had a lot of visual issues with my concussions, which, you know, the visual cortex and like your vision's related to everything in the brain. And so that makes a lot of sense. And then just a lot of headaches, migraine headaches, fatigue, and just kind of that brain fog just kind of glazing over were a lot of the symptoms that I had that just didn't allow me to work properly or really kind of pursue my life properly until I came to CognitiveFX. But I lucked out that I had a wonderful mother who did the searching for me. And again, it was just an amazing discovery. And this isn't how it is for everyone. I mean, there's people coming from all over the world. But like I said, I'm just a local boy from American Fork. And she was able to find it. And it was just, 20 minutes down the road here in Provo. And it was a pretty miraculous discovery to find it. So primarily, most people's kind of like, I don't know, lore of how to fix concussions is just, you just got to rest. And so that like for these kind of series up until concussion number 5, which was the big one, was just kind of like, you just got to rest. You just got to take it easy, take away light, take away sound, which is important and needed like up to a certain point. But when we would meet with doctors, even doctors that, you know, like maybe had a little bit more of concussion experience, it was largely just kind of like, don't play competitive sports anymore, and like not really a solution besides resting, which was then just such a great relief to figure out that there is more that could be done. In 2016, there was some low-hanging fruit visually for me and just some work to do on like kind of with a Brock string, which is this method to be able to work your eyes and how they converge. And oh my goodness, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I just was getting these terrible headaches because I was working so hard. And then just from Wednesday night onwards, it just kind of drifted off. And by Saturday, it really was just kind of like, I'm back. Like my life is back. And I don't have this headache anymore and I can think. And so I was really blessed with a quick turnaround in the first time. And the second time, I think it'll take a little bit longer to kind of have the little bit slower recovery for some of these things, but similar experience kind of where you're going up this peak Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of working yourself. And I'm still exhausted here Thursday, Friday, but on Thursday I started to notice in some of the sessions with some of the therapists that certain things that had aggravated my brain previously were no longer aggravating my brain, or it just kind of felt clearer to me. Even though I still had some eye strain or like tension and maybe even a dull headache, I just kind of noticed I was like, it's not getting worse because of this, which gives me a lot of hope for how it's going to go moving forward. Come in. And I think the reason being is that CognitiveFX from 2016, when it was kind of ground zero, to now, 8 years later, has changed dramatically. And I think that just shows that the people that are behind this, Dr. Fong and others that are working on this, they desire and put effort into remaining cutting edge. And they've learned so much, and it's research-based, and they continue to add whatever will help anyone who's struggling with any brain injury or any symptoms from concussions. And it's changed my life. It's given me my life back, and talking with all these other patients too. It's helping them. And I think that anyone who is on the fence, at least come in and try to schedule a consultation and talk with CognitiveFX and figure out if this is right for you.